Hi, I'm Dom, your podcast host for today, and welcome back to another episode of Our Shakespeare, where today we will be discussing whether or not Macbeth is solely responsible for his and Lady Macbeth's demise. However, before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to Cindy Blackstock. She's an Indigenous Gitxsan Canadian born in Burns Lake, British Columbia in 1964. She's a very influential person in Indigenous affairs related to child rights and social work, and she has spoken out about inequalities that Indigenous youth face. Blackstock is an activist for child protection and welfare, a professor for the School of Social Work at McGill University, and most notably, the director of the First Nations Child and Family Caring Society. She has been recognized for her incredible work and was listed as one of Canada's most influential people in 2021 by Maclean's magazine. Blackstock became a child protection worker after university, and this is where she uncovered that addiction, trauma, and poverty are root issues that many Indigenous children face. Due to this close-up look at Indigenous children's lives, she realized they needed support, and so she co-founded the First Nations Child and Family Caring Society. This organization, often called the Caring Society, is a national, non-profit organization that conducts research, advocates for change with the government, and offers support for Indigenous families and communities. The Caring Society operates based on Jordan's principle, named after Jordan River Anderson from the Norway House Cree Nation in Manitoba. Jordan was born with life-threatening medical needs, and while the federal government and Manitoba government argued about who would pay for his medical treatment for 3 years, Jordan unfortunately died at age 5, waiting for the government's decisions. This tragedy led to the establishment of Jordan's principle, which says that children's needs must be prioritized before settling on whichever level of government will pay. This event also led to the Caring Society adopting a teddy bear named Spirit Bear to symbolize Jordan and represent Indigenous children's struggles. In 2007, the Caring Society and the Assembly of First Nations filed a lawsuit against the federal government's Canadian Human Rights Commission. They argued that the federal government's funding policies were racist and discriminated against Indigenous children. A month after the lawsuit was filed, the federal government withdrew financial support for the Caring Society. In legal fights with the federal government, Blackstock would hold Spirit Bear at hearings, with large groups of children clutching their favorite teddy bears. These demonstrations led to the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal ruling in favor of the Caring Society in 2016. It stated that the federal government's underfunding of Indigenous children was indeed an act of discrimination and ordered the government to compensate those who had been mistreated. Blackstock's most notable accomplishment with the Caring Society is relatively recent, actually. She had a hand in landing the largest settlement in Canadian history. In October 2023, a federal judge approved a historical $23.34 billion agreement to compensate mistreated Indigenous children and their families. In addition to this great news, the federal government has also allocated $20 billion to reform on-reserve child welfare services to remove discrimination. And back to you listeners, no matter who you are or where you're from, you can help support the Caring Society's goal to give Indigenous children a better life in Canada by visiting their website at fncaringsociety.com and donating to their registered charity, or just spreading word to others.